Okay, so great evening, guys. Thank you so very much for joining us again on another exciting upgrade mastery just for you. Yes, this is upgrade mastery just for you. And we get to do this every Fridays, basically from 7 p.m. through to 8 p.m. And we basically get to do a little bit about our week. What were the things we were able to do? What were the challenges we faced? How we're able to overcome them? What are the things that we get to talk about on the Upgrade Mastery just for you? So it's basically about you. How was your week? The things you did, the things you were able to achieve, the challenges you faced, how you were able to overcome them. These are the things that we get to unpack on the Upgrade Mastery just for you. So, how are you doing? How is the month of May going for you? What are the challenges you have faced? What are the difficulties you may have encountered? And how have you been able to overcome all of those things? Have you been able to rise above them? Have you been able to keep going regardless of the setbacks or the difficulties that you may have faced in one way or another? Let's going to talk about it in the comment before we begin the conversation. Every Fridays like this is always interesting because it's the end of the week. We're taking stock of what had happened in the week and then planning towards the new week. So it's more of a time for us to unwind, let down our hair, and just chill and just have a conversation and just talk to ourselves like, okay, how was your week, man? What did you do this week? What were the things that stood out for you? What are the things that you regretted ever happening? What are the things that really made you feel like, oh, it was an amazing week in all? These are the things that we get to talk about on the Upgrade Mastery just for you. And I'm super excited to have you join us here today. I know it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. I know it's going to be mind opening and it's going to be life transforming as always because this is the upgrade side of life. And all we get to do here is help you leave good behind so that you can upgrade because we know that the enemy of your great is good and we want you to be great. So you have to leave the good behind so that you will upgrade. So, how was your week? What did you do this week? What stood out for you this week? What were the things that you were dealing with? What were the things that you were able to overcome? So this week for me has been quite off and on, right? I had a little bit of health challenges. I had some difficulties. I had to just push through, right? I had some things I was doing, some programs I was taking online, and all of those things. So it was a lot for me this week. Literally, it was a lot, but we had to push through. We have to push through because, like I always say, nobody's coming to save you. You are your own rescue. So for me, I had to keep pushing despite the setback, despite the disappointment, despite the ill health I had to deal with. But we still have to be here to show up to make this happen for you. So, how was your week? What did you do this week? In Nigeria, the weather is changing and it's raining, and a lot of people are getting a little bit under the weather, right? So, this is the time where you have to really take good care of yourself because trust me, you do not want to fall sick this season. You don't fall sick this period. It's never a good time to fall sick. I know when you're sick, people take care of you, people give you more attention, but trust me, you do not want to lose productive hours to being sick. Trust me, you don't want to do that because when you're sick, nothing comes to mind apart from getting back to your health. Nothing comes to mind. Trust me, you'll not be able to be productive, you'll not be able to work for yourself, you'll not be able to do anything when you're sick. All you're thinking about, let me just get back my health, right? So, as much as possible, rest, eat, sleep, exercise so you don't break down, so you don't fall sick. Because trust me, in Nigeria today, not falling sick is a lot better than trying to treat yourself because there are a lot of fake medications. So many things are just not working. So it's just best to stay under the grace of God, under the mercy of God, and don't fall sick. If possible, please don't fall sick. Someone was telling me, oh, I'm not feeling too good. I said, sick, please. Being sick is expensive right now, so don't fall sick. Whatever you can do within your power, please do not fall sick because being sick is quite expensive, right? Medications are expensive. Some of them don't even work. So please stay healthy. Eat well, drink a lot of water, exercise, sleep well. Please sleep. So, you're not the wicked as scripture says, there's no peace for the wicked, but sleep, please sleep. Right? Don't sleep. Take care of this body. It's only one you have. Take care of it so you don't fall sick. Right? That's my advice to you. Because of the health care I also had during the week, I just felt okay, please take care of it. So that's the advice I'm taking for myself. So this day I try to sleep early. I try to let go of my phone. I try to let go of working. Just sleep, just rest, right? So that I can wake up the next day and be more productive for myself, right? So I don't wake up the next day feeling tired, even though I've slept. So please take care of your health. It's for your own benefit. You have just one body, and this body is supposed to last you for at least 100 years if you take care of it well, right? So please take care of it. Okay, so that being said, I know you had an amazing week. But drop in the comment how your week went, what were the things you did, what were the challenges you faced, how you were able to overcome all of those things. Let us know in the comment while we begin to get into our gist for today. Now, last week we had a conversation where we talked about going the extra mile. Now, 2 weeks ago, we talked about stop doing the bare minimum. Stop doing bare minimum. That's 2 weeks ago. And last week, we talked about going the extra mile. And we shared with you 5 reasons why you should go the extra mile. How is the benefit for you to go the extra mile? So in case you missed that conversation last week, you have an opportunity to go back on the channel and watch that conversation so you can bring yourself up to speed. But this week, today, our conversation is quite different because we believe that there are some things that people just need to know and begin to practice. You know, one of the things that I really hold there is the fact that I'm very big in not just what you know, but I'm big with what you do with what you know, right? I'm very big on that. What do you do with what you know? Because a lot of people don't have a problem with knowing things. So when you Google some things, you check, you ask ChatGPT, your Claude, your DeepSeek, any of those AI tools, you can know a lot of things, right? So it's not about what you know. The question comes down to what do you do with what you know, right? So I'm a very big proponent of doing as well as knowing. In fact, knowing to do. I get it. So you know to do, right? So it's important that you know some things, but most importantly, that you do what you know. Are we getting this? That you do what you know. This is very important. This is very critical that you get to do what you know and not just know the things. Anybody can know anything, right? The information is out there. The difference with people is what they do, what they know. Now, I'll tell you why I'm talking about this because there are people who don't even know some things, right? There's some people who are oblivious of some things. They really don't even have an idea. They don't know anything. They don't know some things that are supposed to be known. Now, for those people, it's another category entirely because they don't even know. But you see, just because they don't know, it still doesn't excuse them because ignorance is not an excuse in the court of law, like they say. But just because you don't know, it's still not an excuse, right? Because you should take up the responsibility to know and then take up the responsibility to do what you know. Now, this is why this is important because as we get into the conversation for today, you understand this even more. Are you getting this? Now, our gist for today is learn to say no. Now, take note of the words. Learn to say no. Are you getting this? Because we live in a world where there are a lot of users than givers, right? There are a lot of users than givers. And I was talking with someone today and I said that people would use you because you are useful, right? If you're not useful, they won't use you. You know, people tend to say, oh, people are using me too much. They're just using me. They're using me and all of that. They're using me. Yes. People get to use you because you are useful. If you are not useful, nobody will use you, right? If you're not useful, nobody will use you. But they use you because you are useful. But this is why I said earlier, you need to know to do. Some people don't know that they are being used. I'm getting this. Some people are just wholeheartedly giving up, like helping, being generous, just being there for everybody, going the extra mile for everybody, and all of that. But they don't know that some people have capitalized on their generosity and their benevolence to use them. You know, have you noticed that some people only reach out to you when they're in trouble? How many of you have noticed that? That's only when they're in trouble, some people reach out to you. In fact, some people have mastered the act that they get to reach out to you 2 days prior to when they will reach out to you for the help that they need.
So it doesn't look like they've been away. So they plan you, and then they come into your space 2 days prior. So if they're going to ask you for something like on Monday, they'll come into your space and call you by Friday. Oh, how you doing? How you doing? Just trying to catch up with you and all of that. Just to build the momentum to come to Monday and then bill you. I say, please, I'm in need. I'm in need of help. I don't know if you can help me. I just said that on Friday. Because you're a user. They just said that on Friday. Right? But because some people don't know that they are being used, they keep falling for this trick over and over again. That's why this conversation is learn to say no. Are you getting this? Now, this will not mean that you are a bad person. You know, I'm one for go out for others, be there, be selfless, help as much as you can. That's your way of contributing to the world and all of that. I'm a very big proponent of that. But I'm also big on saying, learn to say no. Now, as much as you help people, you do not want to come off feeling used. I getting this? People reach out to you only when they need help. They are using you. Right? When they reach out to you, just because they know, oh, you're very resourceful, you're always going to find a solution for them, you're always going to fix the problem. That's why they reach out to you. And once they are done, they disappear again into thin air. You should realize that at this point, you are now being used. Yes, they know your value, but they don't respect you. They only just use you. That's why you see that the moment you've been able to help them the way they need the help, they disappear into thin air again. So for those kind of people, I said something in one of the posts I did this week on Come Close to Upgrade, and I said, mark those who don't value you. Mark them. Take note of them. Right? You know when people value and when they don't value you. So mark them. Now, those people that you have marked that they don't value you, those are the people that you learn to say no to. Even if they seem to be dying right in front of you, look away and learn to say no. You know why? Because they will not realize that your mumu button, so to speak, that they have no longer works. And see, the moment you even start to say no, they would gaslight you. They will make you start to feel less of yourself. They'll try to emotionally blackmail you so you can give in again as you normally would before now. Now, why I'm saying you should learn to say no is because before now, you go all out. You give 150%, right? You go the extra mile. You push boundaries for them. I say this all the time. People that you carry a bag of rice for may not even lift a pinch of salt for you. Are you getting this? There are people that you carry a bag of rice for. They will not even lift a pinch of salt for you. So there is no reciprocity in this. They are only taking until there's nothing left to take. So when you realize that those are the kind of people you have in your circle or in your space or people who come around you, then with your full chest, like Manchester, learn to say no. Learn to say no. You know, for people who are very big on helping, this is going to be very difficult for you. Because instinctively, you just want to help. I used to be like that. In fact, I am like that, right? People will hurt me. People will talk trash behind my back. People will say a lot of things, and they will still come to me for help, and I will still help them. And they'll be wondering, this guy does not have sense. Yes, I don't have sense. That's why I was helping. Are you getting this? I didn't have sense. That's why I was helping. I didn't have sense. But now I'm beginning to have sense. Now I'm beginning to think, wait, if I really don't help, will they not continue their life? Yes, they will. In fact, I'm contributing to their irresponsibility by always stepping in to help. So I do not want to play God in anybody's life. I want you to live your life the best way you can, and I will do same for me. But I will learn to say no to you. So I no longer feel like I'm being used. Yes, I know that you can only use me because I'm useful, but then I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling where you only call me up because you need help. I don't like that feeling where you don't even care how I feel. You only care about what you can get from me. Are you getting this? So that hurts. Are you getting this? Knowing that the only reason you reach out to me is because you need help from me. If you didn't need help from me, I don't exist to you. That's parasitic. I've become a host that you are feeding on. You have become a parasite. And what do you do with parasites? You get pesticides. And your first pesticide to parasites is you're learning to say no. No hard feelings. I wish I could, but I'm not going to. So it's not like I don't have the resources to help. It's not like I don't have the connection to help. It's not like I don't have the wherewithal to help. Is that I am choosing not to help. Because you have made up your mind to use me. So I refuse to be used. I refuse to be used. So I have learned to say no. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. We are still cool, but I will say no. Yeah. And this is not always easy for people who have always been giving all their lives. People have always been there to help others. People have always been there to go the extra mile for others. People have always been there to solve problems all their lives. This is one of the most difficult things for them to do, to now say no. Learning to say no is like learning a new skill. It's always difficult in the first place. Always difficult. You see, sometimes you catch yourself already trying to help, but then you have to restrain yourself and say, no, 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 no. I shouldn't be doing this again. Because you see, this circle of being used is an endless loop. It doesn't stop. In fact, they get to the point where they hand over to others the skill in using you. So they've used it to a point, to their satisfaction. They now tell others how they can go ahead to continue to use you. How do you start to learn to say no? Because now you're saying, okay, I have to say no. Yes. So how do I go about it? I'm going to tell you how to learn to say no. How to learn to say no. Right? So that you can easily practice this. So that I don't just say, oh, learn to say no, and don't tell you how you can say no. Now, I know there are people who feel this way, like, come on, it's true. There are people who just only call me when they need help. And people only just reach out to me because they know I can help them. People only just come around because they know they can get something off me. And you see, when you observe patterns, it'll be quick for you to spot the people who are always using you. Just observe the pattern. Observe the pattern. Patterns don't lie. Patterns like data don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Patterns and data don't lie. So when you observe the pattern that people always use you, right? They come around just because they need help. They come around because of what they stand to gain. They come around because coming around you looks good on them. That's when you need to now say, okay, I have to pull the plug on this. Right? I have to learn to say no. Now, how do you learn to say no? Number one, restrict access. Right? learning to say no, the first thing that you do is restrict access. Now, why is this important? Why is it important that you restrict access? See, the reason why they come around is because of the access. Because of the access. At every ring, you pick the call. In fact, at first ring, you pick the call. Every time they send a message on WhatsApp, you reply. So because of that, you become easily accessible. And the truth of the matter is, scarcity enhances value, right? The more easily accessible you become to people, the more easy for them to use you. Are you getting this? The more easily accessible you are, the more easy for them to use you. If they know that if they try to call you, you probably will call back 2 days after, you will not be on their top list of people they need to use or people they can use. If they send you a message and you reply perhaps 48 hours after, you will not be among their top list of people that they can use, because there is unlimited and unrestricted access to you. That's why they can use you. Now, if they have to think, how do I get through to him? How do I get across to him? If that has to be something that bothers them because they don't have easy access to you, it starts to affect how they think they can use you, because the access is gone. The access is restricted. But because there is easy access, it's easy for that access to be abused. I was speaking to someone recently. I said that, is it because I reply your messages immediately, that's why you feel you can act the way you do? Perhaps I will reply your messages a day after. Yes, I'm busy, but because I take out time to reply your messages most immediately when you send them, doesn't mean I don't know myself. I've just given you that access, but it looks like you are abusing the access. So now I will restrict the access. So in learning to say no, the first thing you need to do is restrict access. Okay, so apologies for that. We had a little bit of network challenge. So, like I was saying, when you restrict access, it now limits how people can now use you. Are you getting this? So when they know that, oh, it will take them 3 days or 1 week to get access to you, they cannot easily use you anymore. You will not be on their top of mind or at the top of their list of people they want to use, because they can't access you. And you see, learning to say no starts from restricting access. You're not angry, you're not upset, you're not blocking anybody, but you have just restrict access. So you now determine the people you should give instant replies to. There are some messages you will read and not reply, right? Deliberately, because you are learning to say no. See, one of the easiest way to learn to say no is not to actually say no. Are you getting this? One of the easiest way to say no is not to verbally say the no. No, your actions will already put the handwriting on the wall. No, your actions. So when someone calls you and it goes to missed call, you don't return the missed call, access is being restricted. Because you see, now they'll begin to see your value. Because, like I always say, when Jesus said, "Do not cast your pearl among swine," he was letting people know that you are the one that will make people treat you anyhow. That what you are doing. That's why I often tell us that we teach people how to treat us. Are you getting this? So you are teaching people how they will treat you by how easily accessible you are for them. See, people value what they barely have access to. They value it. And they begin to devalue what they have unlimited access to. They begin to devalue it. See, it takes a lot of discipline and maturity for you to have access and not abuse it. It takes a lot of discipline and maturity for you to have access and yet not abuse it. People who have access, they've abused it. And what that has cost for them, people who would have gladly said yes to them have now learned to say no. So the first thing to do when it comes to learn to say no is to restrict access. So restrict access, right? So when you do this, you are gradually learning how to say no. Remember, I told us just now that the best way to say no is not to say no. Again, the best way to say no is not to say no. There are things you do, the person will read the handwriting on the wall and say, this person is saying no, without you saying no. That's why I say the best way to say no is not to say no. Because when you tell some people no, they will still take you for granted. They'll still think it's a joke. They'll call your bluff. I beg. No, restrict access. When the people who used to reach you on per second billing no longer have access to reach you on per second billing, they'll begin to understand that things are changing. Things are not the same as before. Levels don't change now, over 10, levels don't change. You restrict access. The first thing to do when you learn to say no is restrict access. Now, I'll tell you the second thing to do when you learn to say no is reduce communication. Reduce communication. Now, this is as important as restrict access, because when you give unlimited access, guess what happens? There's also unlimited communication. So the person can communicate, you can communicate, you can reply, the person can send a message, you can reply. There is flow of communication. But you see, now that you have restrict access, the next thing you need to do is to reduce communication. Now, this is going to hurt because you have been the person who's always communicating, always gisting, always bringing up gist, always trying to fill in the vacuum, always trying to bring conversation, always trying to get people to talk. You're the one that lighting up the room. You're the one that makes everyone come alive. You're always bringing gist. You're always making everything happen. You're always the life of the party. When you are learning to say no, you would reduce communication. You that would type a paragraph, a long sentence, you now start with one word, using one word. I often say that never use two words where one suffices. Again, it is never use two words where one suffices. So when you are learning to say no, guess what you do next? After you restrict access, you will now reduce communication. When people communicate often, it breeds a certain kind of connection. That's the truth. And I'm not even talking about relationship or anything. When people communicate often, it builds a certain kind of bond. It breeds a certain kind of connection. You feel like, oh, you know this person, you get this person because you guys are always talking, right? Now, when you have to learn to say no, you have to reduce communication. So you have the type that will always go on and be gisting and be talking, send voice note, type long paragraphs. You start using one worders. No more 10 minutes voice notes. In fact, no more voice note at all. You are reducing communication. In fact, you now start replying with stickers or smiling. You are reducing communication. Why? Because you are learning to say no. I'm getting this. Because you see, I told us earlier that you learn to say no without saying no. You learn to say no without saying no. And one way to do this is to reduce communication. Reduce it to the barest minimum. See, as long as you are communicating frequently, there are chances are you would be asked a request that you will do because you are communicating. You know, and people who just want to pick your brain, and people who just want to still run ideas by you, and people who just want to use you. And there's nothing they are doing for you in return. Nothing. Literally. All they think of is how they will benefit from you. They have become intentionally and unintentionally selfish. It's all about them. Oh, what do you think about this? Oh, what do you think about this? Oh, I'm planning this. What do you think about this? They are running everything that they want to do through you because you are always ready to communicate. You know, when someone sends you a message and they don't get a response till like 8 hours later, their impatience will make them know that this person is not interested anymore. Especially when previously when they send you a message and the message is delivering, you are replying. And now 8 hours later, they are seeing you online, but yet you have not responded. In fact, they have even called you, yet you have not responded. They send you normal text message, yet you have not responded. You'll begin to get the memo that some things have changed. This guy is no longer easily accessible to be used like before. Let me tell you this. People who are using you, they know what they are doing. No? It's you that don't know that they are using you. Again, people who are using you, they know what they are doing. They came to use you with the intention to use you. See, no one is using you by mistake. They plan you. They know that, oh, you're going to fall prey for this. You're going to be somebody who wants to help. You're going to be a nice person. So they take advantage of it. And they use you till there's nothing left of you to use. You know, when you eat orange, back in the day, when you eat orange, you now peel the back and lick everything that is inside and you throw it away. That's how some people use people. They use them until there's nothing left of them to use. And then they move on to the next, just like a parasite. When the parasite is done with the host, many times it kills the host and then goes to another host to continue its parasitic nature. See, people who are using you are users. They will never change. That's who they are. They are users. Just like the same way a leopard cannot change its spots, users cannot stop using. That's who they are. But what do you do to save yourself from being used? You learn to say no. And how do you learn to say no? Number one, you restrict access. Right? And number two, you reduce communication. Because as long as they can still communicate with you, they will still come back. Oh, I'm in this trouble. Oh, how can you help me? Oh, see, sometimes they paint it as though you are their Messiah. And because you have a Messianic factor. You want to save the day, you're Superman. You want to always save the day, you step in. No, don't save the day. Let the day spoil. Let the day spoil. Don't save anything. Don't save anything. Reduce communication. Reduce communication. When they send you a message, don't reply. Even when you reply, one word. Yes. Okay. Noted. Thumbs up. One word. One word. You can't read meanings to one word because you have reduced communication. You're not trying to explain yourself. No, you don't deserve that explanation because you are learning to say no. They have mastered the act of using. It's you that is learning to say no. They have mastered the act of using. They use and abuse till there's nothing left to use. It's you that is trying to save yourself from being used. So you are learning to say no. And I said the first thing to do to learn to say no is to restrict access. To restrict access. The second thing when you learn to say no is to reduce communication. There's nothing for us to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. Like, there's nothing to talk about. Oh, great. Nice. Well done. Nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about literally. Right? Because all you stand for is what you stand to gain. Nothing else. You don't care about me. You don't care how I feel. You don't care you don't care what's happening with me. Nothing. It's all about you, and you. So there's no point us having communication. Right? We are not friends. Literally, we are not friends. I'm just someone to you that you like to take advantage of. We are not friends. Because you don't even care how I feel. All you care about is what you can get out of me. That's all you care about. So you don't care about me. But it's not your problem. It's mine to fix. And in fixing it, I learn to say no. And in my ways that I learn to say no, first, I will restrict access. You will no longer get access to me as before. I will restrict it. I won't block you. I won't delete your number, but I will restrict access. Then number two, I would reduce communication. There's nothing for us to talk about. Nothing to talk about. If you have a problem, call God. If you have business, call me. Are you getting this? If you have a problem, call God. If you have business, then call me. Right? Otherwise, you lose my number. And even if you still have it, I will reduce communication. Because I know you for who you are. You are a user and nothing else. You see, users will not like this conversation because it's revealing their trick that they have used for years. And a few people did not know. We knew, but we just felt that you would change. But like I said, the leopard never loses its spot. And when people show you their true color, don't try to repaint them. Don't try to recolor them. That's who they are. They will not change because of you. That's who they are. Using is what they do. User is who they are. They won't change. It's you that will change. They will not change. In fact, when they stop having access to use you, they will go to the next available person that they want to use. That circle continues for them. Using is what they do. User is who they are. So it's you that will save yourself from them. You know, as long as there's sugar on the table, ants will gather. But when the sugar is on the table and the sugar is covered, ants won't come. This is you covering your sugar. This is you covering your sweetness. This is you covering your kindness. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be wicked. It's not aura for aura. No. But you're only going to be kind to those who are appreciative of your kindness. And the reason why I learned to say no is because as much as you help these users, they are never thankful. They are never grateful. That's the thing. Because they are users, they are never thankful, they are never grateful. They just keep using. Use, abuse, reuse. It's up to you to now say no more. No more. This ends and ends now. This ends and ends now. Right? So number one, restrict access. Number two, reduce communication. Number three. Number three. You want to guess what number three is? I'll tell you. Number three is simple. Let them know their users. Now this is hard. Let them know that you're users. You see, one of the hardest things that you're going to do on this journey in learning to say no is to actually face these people and let them know that, see, I understand this game. I was never a fool, but I was playing along. But I understand the game. You are a user. And I will no longer allow myself to be used by you. See, this one is the Oga Kpatakpata of them all. Again, this is the Oga Kpatakpata of them all. Because this is the point where you literally confront them and say, see, this thing that you are doing, I know what you are doing. You are a user. You only think about yourself. You don't care about how I feel. You don't care what I go through in order to provide the help that I help you with. You're only just self-centered. You are a user. And because you're a user, I will no longer allow myself to be used by you. Are you getting this? See, at this point, all you were doing by restricting access, by reducing communication, is to lead to this point where you can tell them you are a user and I will no longer allow you to use me. See, at this point, like they say in local parlance, everywhere go your blow. Everywhere go your blow. This is the point where you let them know to their face. You see, I understand all that you've been doing. You are a user. But I'm no longer going to allow you to continue to use me. I know better now for myself. See, at this point, you destabilize them completely. You see, this is like when you're playing chess and you do checkmate. Or when you're playing what? Card, and you do last card, check up. This is the checkup. This is the checkmate. Whether it's chess or what? Checkmate, last checkup, whichever. This is the point where you tell them, I know you are a user. This is how you have used me in time past, but I've ignored you, feeling like, okay, probably it's a one-off thing. But I've seen the pattern. You only reach out to me when you need help. You only call me when you need help. You only come around when you need help. If you don't need help, I don't see you. Even when I need help, you are not available. You are a user. And because you're a user, I will no longer allow myself to be used by you. So at this point, you have learned to say no without saying no. So now they know that it's game over for them with you. Right? Some will pretend as though, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I'm really sorry. It's a lie, oh. It's a lie. They are not sorry anything. Because see, sorry is spelled CHANGE, change. When people are sorry, they change. But when people remain the same, they are never sorry. But trust me, they will tell you, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a lie. They are not sorry. Still maintain your no. They are not sorry. When people are sorry, they change. They are not sorry. You just want to get back into your good books again, and don't let them. Don't let them. Stand your ground. I know you're a user. You no longer use me. Your game is up with me. It's game over. It's game over. Right? All the help I give to you is good. I don't regret it. I don't feel bad about it, but it's over. It's completely over. We are done and dusted. We're done and dusted. See, this is not because you are wicked. This is because at some point in your journey, you must stand up to your abusers. You must stand up to your users and let them know that you know that they are using you. You know, sometimes they will say, "Oh, do you feel like I'm using you?" Yes! I don't feel like you are using me. I don't feel like you are using me, and I know. I don't feel like. Do you feel like I'm using? Yes, you are. You are using me. What have you been doing? You're using me. And I was not a fool when you were using me. I was just being myself. So I will not stop being nice or being kind because of you. I will only just stop being kind to you. Let that sink in. I will not stop being kind because of you. I will stop being kind to you. Because there are other people who would appreciate my kindness. You are ungrateful, you are unappreciative, so I will stop being kind to you. I told us this last week. I said that people who help you, they chose to help you. And because they chose to help you, they can also choose not to help you. I get this. When people help you, they chose to help you. And when you are unappreciative, ungrateful, they will choose not to help you. So their help to you is their choice. So they will choose to help or choose not to help. And nothing spoiled when they choose not to help. It's just you that have just lost out. They will help other people, but they will never help you again. Are you getting it? So it is you that will lose out because you are a user. And guess what? The people who have identified you as a user, guess what happens? When they see in other spaces, they'll be the first to raise the alarm that that person is a user. Beware. I get it. They'll be the first to raise the alarm. Say, "Oh, that person's a user. Be mindful of that person. It's a user." So you see, your reputation precedes you. So, I know you're not going to change. It's fine. It's your life. For me, I've chosen to learn to say no. And 3 simple ways to learn to say no, right? It's not just enough. Like I told us, it's not enough to just say no. No, you can learn to say no without saying no. 3 simple ways to learn to say no without saying no. Number 1, restrict access. The reason why they come in the first place is because they have access, right? That's the reason why they come. They have access. So restrict the access. You know, they say pressure is force over area, right? Basic physics. Pressure is force over area. When you remove the area, the force diminishes, which means when you restrict access, the use reduce. I love that. Oh, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it. When you restrict access, the use reduces. So the first thing when you want to learn to say no is restrict access. Restrict access. Don't reply their messages. Don't take their calls. Don't reply their DM. Even when they come around physically, don't allow them have access to you like before. Oh, I'm very busy now. I can't talk about anything right now. Probably we'll talk about this some other time. They are restricting access. Restricting access. Are doing that intentionally. Then number 2, you reduce communication. People that you chat with long into the night, communicate, just keeping tabs, just talking. They'll run things by you. They'll pick your brain. They'll do all of those things. Reduce communication. You want to pick my brain? Pay for consultation. I love that. You want to pick my brain? Pay for consultation. Or ask your chat GPT. I ain't gonna bother you about that. Ask your Claude, ask your DeepSeek, ask your whichever platform you're using. Ask your Google. But you want to pick my brain? Pay for consultation. Otherwise, I reduce communication. If you can't pay for consultation, I reduce communication because you have shown to me that you are not my friend. You have shown to me that you don't have my interest. See, there comes a point in your life, you actually know those who are for you and those who are not for you. If you don't know at this point in your life, then you don't know yourself. Are you getting this? If at this point in your life you don't know those who are for you and those who are not for you, you don't know yourself. So you reduce communication, especially for those who are not for you. You reduce communication. That's why scripture says, do not cast your pears among swine. See, that thing is very deep. And I use it a lot lately. I tell people, do not cast your pears among swine. It's not my saying, it's what Jesus said. Which means don't give your value to people who don't appreciate value or recognize your value. Don't give your value to them. Because when you do that, you are casting your pears among swine. And then the third thing that you do, after you restrict access and you reduce communication, you let them know that they are users. See, this is the finishing. You let them know that they are users. See, I know that you're a user. I know that you are using me. But moving on, you will no longer be able to use me anymore. You're getting this? We are not quarreling. We are still cool, but you can no longer use me. You're getting this? You can no longer use me. I know myself. I will not allow myself to be used by you any longer. That's it. No hard feelings. We're still cool. I'll show up for you. I will speak with you. Nothing has changed. But I know you are a user. But I will no longer allow you to use me. Are you getting this? Once you do this, you have successfully learned to say no. You know, saying no is a full sentence that needs no further explanation. Full sentence needs no further explanation. You don't need to explain your no. Again, you don't need to explain why you're saying no. They know why you're saying no. So you don't need to explain it. Again, is you've restricted access. You have reduced communication. You have even told them that they are users. You don't need to say no. You already know. You already know it is no. You already know. That's why we started out earlier to say it's not enough to know what to do. You must do what you know. And that's why we told you in this conversation that you need to learn to say no. You need to learn to say no to people, especially people who are users, who are takers, who are abusers. You need to learn to say no to them. Whether they're your bosses, whether they're your colleagues, whether they're your family members, whoever they are, these three things I've shared with you would help you learn to say no to them, whoever they are. Even if there's someone you're in a relationship with, restrict access, reduce communication, and then let them know that they are users. And if it's a relationship, I bet that relationship will hit the rocks eventually. I can tell you that. I'll tell you that for free. It will hit the rocks. Because at a point, you will get tired of being used. Everybody gets tired of being used. That's the truth. Everybody gets tired of being used. Everybody. Everyone who's being used, at some point, they get tired of being used. So you don't want to arrive at that point where you're tired of being used when you can learn to say no. I'm getting this. Just learn to say no. It saves you stress. It gives you more peace. Enjoy your life, and you don't feel bad about anything. Don't feel bad about anything. Don't feel bad. Me? I don't feel bad about anything. I don't feel bad about anything. Literally, I don't feel bad about anything. I can literally look you in the eyes and tell you that you are a user. And I'll give you patterns to show you that you're a user. And because of that, I have said no to you. I told you earlier, people who say no to you, they have not stopped being kind. They are still kind, but they are just no longer kind to you because you are a parasite. And what they do to parasites, they spray them with pesticides. You getting this? You made yourself a parasite. So get ready to face the pesticides. And some pesticides begin by restricting access, reducing communication, and you let them know that they are users. See, once you do this, you have successfully learned to say no. And this is the whole essence of this conversation today, because there are people who really need to man up, and for ladies, woman up and learn to say no. Yeah, learn to say no. And you don't have to say no, N-O, to say no. You just do these things that I have told you. Restrict access, reduce communication, and tell them that you are a user and I will no longer allow myself to be used by you. End of story. Chicken up. The end. So guys, this is it. This is the gist for today. And I hope you enjoyed it. You know, one of the things that we love to do, that we've been doing this month of May, by just keeping it real, right? By just keeping it real with everybody. First, we told you about stop, what's the word again now? Stop doing the bare minimum. We're keeping it real. Stop doing the bare minimum, right? 2 weeks ago, we said stop doing the bare minimum. And then last week, we told you go the extra mile. Because when you stop doing the bare minimum, you must now start going the extra mile. And this week we say, while you are going this extra mile, also learn to say no. Because there are people who want to use you because they see you are going the extra mile. This person is always going in for everybody, is always going the extra mile for everybody, so they want to use you. You now learn to say no to the people who want to use, abuse, and reuse you. You now learn to say no. Even if I'm going the extra mile, I'm only doing it for people who are grateful and appreciative. For you who are selfish, ungrateful, and unappreciative, I have learned to say no to you. Right? For others, I will go the extra mile. For others, I will climb the highest mountain for. For others, I will swim these oceans for. But for you, I won't even lift a finger. I won't lift a finger for you because I know that you are a user and all you want to do is use me. And I am wise now. I will not be used anymore by you. Right? Those times I was used was because I felt, let me just help. Let me just be kind. But now I will take my kindness elsewhere and no longer be kind to you. It will be your loss and the gain for others. So I have learned to say no. 3 simple ways to learn to say no. Number 1, restrict access. Number 2, reduce communication. And number 3, let them know that they are users. You are not a fool. You have just been playing it cool, but not anymore. You were never a fool. You know, there's a saying that fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I was never a fool. I was just playing it cool, but not anymore. Not anymore. I'll put you in your place where you truly belong. I will compartmentalize you to where you belong. You're not adding to me, you're taken away from me. And I will no longer allow you to be parasitic on me. No more. Because what you do to parasites, you apply pesticides, kill them. That's what you do. But since I won't kill you, I will learn to say no to you. I will restrict access. I will reduce communication. I will let you know that you are a user and you will no longer use me anymore. So, guys, this is it. This is the conversation for now. And I hope that you have learned something from this gist. I hope that this has been worth your while. I hope that you picked up something that you can go back and practice beginning from right about now. You will restrict access, you reduce communication, and you let them know that they are users. Because now you have learned to say no. Yes, guys, learn to say no. So, guys, this is it. This is the gist for today. I hope you learned something in this conversation. I hope this was worth your while. So, like I always say, do what to invite your friends, your followers, and your loved ones. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your family members, even your enemies. Tell them to subscribe to the channel. Let them watch, comment, and share. We're always excited to have you be part of this conversation because this conversation has a way, it just helps you become a better you for yourself, right? The week is over. It's the weekend. You need to rest. Arsenal has won the league, and we hope that there'll be world peace that will be restored when they meet PSG at the Champions League final. But I'm not about that. I rejoice with them. Shout out to the Gunners after 22 years. Shout out to you guys. You won the English Premier League, the champions of England. Congratulations. But you know yourself. No longer allow people to use you the way they want to use you. Learn to say no. This is me letting you on this secret that is an open secret that you need to be aware of. There are people who are users, who are abusers, and who are reusers. But that should no longer happen to you because now you have learned to say no without saying no because you would restrict access, you would reduce communication, and you will let them know that they are users and they will no longer use you. So, guys, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. We're super glad to have you here. We can't wait for next week, Friday, where we have another amazing and another exciting conversation to share with you. Like I always say, there's always more on the upgrade side of life. And that's why we encourage you that you leave good behind so that you can upgrade. And what better way for you to upgrade but for you to learn to say no. Yes, learn to say no. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. I'll see you again soon.